For decades, Madonna has moved through life powered by adrenaline, glitter, and defiance of gravity itself. But in 2023, the Queen of Pop met a force she couldn't outdance, her own body. This wasn't a stunt or headline grab. It was Madonna, the unstoppable icon, suddenly human. No spotlight, no glamour, just reality, raw and unfiltered. When the show literally couldn't go on, there she was, preparing for her celebration tour. Because of course, if Madonna celebrates anything, it's herself, pop culture domination, and the fact that she can still outdance people half her age. Rehearsals were intense. Choreography was in full swing. The Queen was ready to remind the world that she invented pop spectacle. But then, in a plot twist nobody ordered, her body simply clocked out without warning. One moment she was rehearsing at superstar level, and the next she was unconscious, hospitalized, and plugged into enough machines to rival a sci-fi movie lab. Pop royalty had gone from superstar to ICU patient overnight, and not even Madonna could vogue her way out of that one. Doctors determined she had sepsis, the medical equivalent of your immune system deciding, you know what? Let's attack ourselves. It begins with an infection and escalates into a catastrophic internal meltdown. Blood pressure plummets, organs threaten to resign from their duties, and time becomes the deadliest enemy. Many don't survive it, and there lay Madonna, the woman who could stop traffic with a stare and ignite cultural revolutions, motionless and deeply fragile. If pop music had saints, the world would have been lighting candles and whispering prayers in auto-tune. 4 days in the dark. Madonna was unconscious for 4 days. Not Sleeping Beauty unconscious. Not celebrity spa detox retreat unconscious. She was medically unresponsive, surrounded by machines, fighting for life without knowing she was fighting at all. For someone used to controlling every spotlight, every moment, every beat, waking up to realize she'd lost 4 days of her life must have been jarring and scary, and probably followed by a moment of, "Excuse me, who decided I could be human today?" This was the most un-Madonna moment Madonna has ever had. No controversy, no high heels, just sheer survival. The superwoman who suddenly wasn't. Madonna has built her brand around invincibility. She has outlasted record labels, pop princesses, critics, and the entire moral panic era. She has reinvented herself so often that even the concept of Madonna has had identity crises. She has been bold, fearless, and unapologetically relentless. If life threw a challenge at her, she usually responded by dancing in a cone bra and changing music history. But this time, she woke up, unable to move, unable to stand, and with no strength at all. Forget performing, she couldn't even sit up in bed without help. It was as if her body finally staged a protest and said, "Ma'am, we need a break." Immediately, preferably with bed rest and no choreography. She has openly admitted she felt powerless in a way she never has before. Madonna has always looked at challenges like annoying chihuahuas barking at her heels, irritating, but ultimately ignorable. Not this one. This one sat her down with the grace of a sledgehammer. It forced her to face the terrifying question, what if she never returned to normal? What if the woman who survived the 80s, 90s, tabloids, and the death of CDs couldn't survive her own immune system? Healing, spirituality, and the surprising use of actual stillness. Madonna credits not just medical care, but her spiritual practice for helping her through recovery. She leaned into Kabbalah teachings, which probably confused some people who assumed the only religious text she ever believed in was Vogue choreography notes. Her teacher gave her a guiding principle, radical acceptance, a phrase that sounds like it belongs in a wellness app narrated by a very enthusiastic yoga teacher, but in her case, became a lifeline. Radical acceptance meant understanding she couldn't control the situation. She couldn't out-train it, out-think it, or out-fame it. She had to accept not knowing when or if she'd get better. She had to stop asking, "Why me?" which, let's be honest, must have been tempting for someone who has spent decades convincing the universe she is its main character. Instead, she had to surrender, not in defeat, but in resilience. Madonna surrendering feels so foreign that somewhere a leather jacket probably cried. Yet in this quiet vulnerability, she found strength, without a spotlight, without applause, and without a hit single to go with it. Recovery was not sponsored by glamour. Let's clear a misconception right now. This was not a Hollywood-style comeback montage. There was no soft, inspirational music playing. She didn't emerge from her hospital bed glowing like a skincare commercial, toss her IV aside and say, "All right, world, mama's back, turn on the lights." Recovery was messy, painful, slow, and deeply uninstagrammable. It wasn't a triumphant sprint, it was a shaky crawl. Every day was about tiny victories. Sitting up, standing, walking, things ordinary people celebrate at age 1, not 60 plus after a world tour rehearsal collapse. She feared permanent damage. She feared not being herself again. She feared the future. And for someone used to controlling destiny like a production director, that fear was monumental. The miracle of the comeback. And this time, it's not metaphor. Months later, Madonna marked the 1-year anniversary of her hospitalization by calling her recovery miraculous. Coming from the queen of dramatic statements, you might assume she was exaggerating. Except this time, she wasn't posing in diamonds while saying it. She meant it. She acknowledged her second chance at life with genuine gratitude, something unusual in an industry where self-reflection normally involves deciding whether a boa or a cape better communicates emotional growth. She described life as beautiful and precious. She expressed deep appreciation for her health, her children, and her fans. When a woman famous for never slowing down starts pausing to admire being alive, you know this was no ordinary detour. And honestly, if Madonna can humble herself before life, the rest of us might need to reconsider complaining about Wi-Fi lag like it's a personal tragedy. Human, after all, and somehow even more iconic. Madonna's health scare didn't weaken her legacy, it deepened it. The image of her stripped of power, makeup, choreography, and spotlight wasn't a fall from grace. It was a reminder that icons aren't untouchable, they're relatable. Yes, she built her throne from controversy and pop stardom. Yes, she's reinvented herself more times than software gets updated. But this moment showed a kind of reinvention she never planned. Madonna, the mortal. Madonna, the survivor. Madonna, not unstoppable because she never falls, but unstoppable because she gets back up. And in a strange, poetic twist, this scary chapter made her more inspiring. Because if Madonna, the woman who once conquered the world in lace gloves and attitude, can face her own fragility with grace and humor, then the rest of us can probably handle a Monday morning without dramatic sighing and iced coffee therapy. A reminder to mere mortals, her experience is a giant neon sign flashing. Fame doesn't make you invincible. Money doesn't exempt you from biology. And no one, not even Madonna, can outrun mortality forever. But strength? Strength is universal. Determination is universal. And comeback spirit? Well, Madonna practically wrote the manual and then illustrated it with sparkly photos. So here's to Madonna's unexpected journey through human vulnerability. She didn't just survive, she transformed. And in doing so, she reminded everyone that aging isn't a curse, illness isn't weakness, and recovery isn't linear. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is rest, heal, and come back bigger, and maybe even slightly sassier than before. And if she can bounce back from a brush with death, then surely we can bounce back from, say, a bad hair day or that traumatic experience known as stepping on a Lego. Long live the Queen, this time with an actual appreciation for life. a gentler grip on control, and hopefully, fewer doctor visits than costume fittings. If you enjoyed this deep dive into her journey, hit that like and don't forget to subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Madonna's recovery another chapter in her legacy of reinvention? Thanks for watching, stay inspired,